Pick out the notes one at a time and then adjust your...
When me and John were dating, he had a guitar in his apartment that, was just in the corner collecting dust, not being used. So I asked him if I could borrow it and, teach myself guitar. So I would go home and I would go on YouTube and I would just watch YouTube videos for hours and practice. By the time I learned my first 3 chords, I was already writing music. I was at Evangel studying worship leadership, and my husband and I felt called to plant a church in North Springfield. And so, as we were launching the church, we didn't have anyone for a worship leader. And so John kept asking me, and he kept saying, I feel like you're supposed to be the one to do it. I kind of accepted, yeah, this is the role that I need to take. I got pregnant about a year later. I just wasn't gonna have the time. I needed to start creating a team who could lead without me. And so we found someone to fill the gap for a year. So after the year passes, I knew the worship ministry needed to get to the next level and that it was going somewhere. I just didn't think I was qualified in any way to be the person to take it there. I said no to taking it back, and I found someone else to fill the role. It didn't work out the way that I had planned in my mind. There wasn't unity, and I would kind of oversee from the background. But even with that, it didn't seem that they were on board. And so it became a struggle. It felt at times that I was kind of hitting my head against a brick wall. The tension and, the disunity came to a head, and, a lot of people left hurt. I was spending a lot of time talking to God, asking him why all these things that I had put my hand to try and build the vision that I felt that he had given me, were not coming to fruition. It seemed like everything that I was putting my hands to was failing. And God, he dealt with me pretty straightforwardly. He really just spoke to me and said, you've been disobedient. You keep trying to give away this worship ministry to other people for them to lead, but it's not your worship ministry to give away. It's yours to lead. And I hid for a long time behind other people, thinking if I can get someone else on stage, if I can put someone else in the front and I can just be in the background, things will work out. But God dealt with me pretty severely, and he said, that's not my will. Nothing is ever going to change, and you're not going to see anything grow until you do things my way. And I knew, okay, let's do this. I'll lead. Not even a month after that things really just began to fall together. I met, the right people at the right time. We began songwriting, and it all just happened so perfectly. Last year, 2019, we released the Overflow EP, which was our first record at Freedom City Worship. Now that that's done, we know that God has called us to continue writing, to continue making music. So now God is calling Freedom City Worship to our next project, which is the Jericho Album. Make me strong. The Jericho Album is basically gonna capture where Freedom City Church is now, where we're headed as a church. It's basically our album of faith. So I just can't wait for people to hear it, and I just know that these words that we've penned are gonna really speak to people's hearts